Does he think that I don't exist? I swear I'm going to castrate him this time. Suddenly, she took out a dagger from its sheath. The sharp blade gleamed under the light. Tell me, where is that bastard? Eleanor roared into her phone. She was no longer the sweet lady she was just moments ago. Now, she looked more like a ferocious tigress. Ms. Welsh, Mr. Swanson is hanging out with his friends at the Imperial Oasis Club, the person on the phone answered. Mr. Ramone, drop us off at the Imperial Oasis Club now, Eleanor ordered the moment she ended the call. Without another word, Mr. Ramone, her driver, stepped on the gas pedal and headed straight to their destination. Eleanor gripped the dagger tightly, and her body shook from rage. Gradually, the anger was replaced by sorrow. Eleanor's eyes went red as tears welled up. Ms. Welsh, what's wrong? Dustin asked. Eleanor turned to wipe away the tears and collect herself. When she finally spoke, there was a slight tremble in her voice. My parents tried to set me up with Ezra Swanson 2 years ago. I was against it initially, but Ezra was persistent. With his constant pursuit, sweet talk, gifts, and surprises that he showered me with, I eventually gave in, and we became a couple. But some time ago, I discovered he was a scumbag who often messed around with other women. In a fit of fury, I broke up with him. I intended to give him another chance if he admitted his mistakes and changed his ways. But that asshole is a cheater who will never change his ways. He promised me he'd never do it again. But the next thing I hear is him going to a hotel with a vixen. I just don't get it. Why must he treat me this way? Am I not good enough for him? Toward the end, Eleanor was already choking up on her words. She had only ever treated Ezra sincerely but was betrayed in return. You're not the one at fault, Ms. Welsh. He's the one who can't appreciate a gem like you. The best thing you can do for yourself with a man like that is to let him go as soon as possible, Dustin consoled her. Ezra was a typical player who would never change his ways. Eleanor should consider herself lucky for discovering his true colors before they got married. Otherwise, it would have been too late. Of course, I know that I should let go. But not without making him pay first. Eleanor gritted her teeth, full of resentment. How dare he treat me like this? I'm not letting him off easily. I'll make him regret messing with me. I'll make him understand that losing me is the biggest loss of his goddamned life. What do you have in mind? Dustin questioned. Since his cheating on me with other women, I'll get myself a man. I'll humiliate and piss him off. Eleanor sniffled. All of a sudden, her gaze landed on Dustin. You'll be my boyfriend from now on, Dustin. I'll show him that he isn't the only one who can mess around. What? Dustin was startled. Are you kidding, Ms. Welsh? We barely know each other. So what? Do you think I'm not good enough for you? Eleanor huffed. I'm engaged, Ms. Welsh. Dustin didn't know how else he could react. Of course, he knew very well that Eleanor had only suggested that to take revenge on Ezra. So what if you're engaged? You're not married yet, aren't you? Eleanor grabbed Dustin's hand stubbornly. I don't care. You must agree to it. At the very least, you just have to put up an act today so that I can get on Ezra's nerves. Sure, I can help you. But to be clear, this is just an act. Don't take it seriously. Dustin felt an incoming headache from what was about to happen. No problem. Eleanor beamed brightly at him. She couldn't wait to see Ezra irritated. At the same time, a group of young men and women were chatting and drinking in a VIP room of the Imperial Oasis Club. Sitting at the center of them all was none other than Ezra Swanson, scion of the Swanson family. Ezra had a tall and slender figure with a handsome face. He was meticulously dressed, and his hair was immaculate. Just by his looks, he was certainly a graceful and dashing man. Beside him sat a curvy and extremely exquisite lady. She was dressed in a red, figure-hugging dress. Her long, shapely legs covered in black stockings were crossed. She looked elegant, alluring, and downright tempting. Aren't you engaged, Ezra? Aren't you afraid she'd get angry with you for having another lady around you so openly? A plump man teased. That man was Sheehan Kroc, the eldest son of the Kroc family in South City. In terms of influence, he was only second to Ezra in their circle of friends. Ooh, I've lost interest in that shrew long ago. She isn't the least bit feminine. If it weren't for the marriage arranged for familial alliance, I wouldn't even have wasted time on her. Ezra spat, looking disgusted. Hey, Ezra, Eleanor's known to be a belle in South City. Countless men have their eyes on her. You don't even realize how fortunate you are. Sheehan laughed. Do you like her? You can have her then. I'm done with her anyway. Ezra lifted his chin proudly. How generous of you, Ezra. I would like to try Ms. Welsh out if the opportunity arises. Sheehan grinned lecherously. As the two men conversed, the VIP room door was suddenly kicked open with a loud bang. When the door was kicked open, everyone was stunned and instinctively looked over. A fashionably dressed and sweet-looking Eleanor stood at the door. She walked in with an air of indifference. Dustin trailed in behind her casually. Eleanor. Ms. Welsh. When they saw who it was, everyone's expression changed. Especially Ezra, who immediately withdrew his hand from the lady's waist as if he was electrocuted. Then, he stood up and forced a smile. Eleanor, why are you here? What, you can be here, and I can't. Eleanor glanced at the lady before fixing her gaze on Ezra. Though she had mentally prepared herself, it still angered her to see the cheating couple behave so intimately. Sure you can, but why didn't you me beforehand? I could have made arrangements for you, Ezra said with a smile. Tell no need. I'm just here to have a look. As Eleanor spoke, her gaze trailed over to the lady on the couch, who looked nervous. Eleanor asked casually, who's this beside you? I don't think I've seen her before. Oh, her. She's Sheehan's new girlfriend. Ezra winked at Sheehan, attempting to signal at him to cover up for him. It took Sheehan a moment to grasp what Ezra was signaling. Then, he chuckled and tried to smooth things over. Yes, Eleanor. Here, let me make introductions. This is Susie Summers, my girlfriend. She's a celebrity. Hello, Eleanor. Susie quickly stood up and forced a smile. Ms. Welsh was known to have a fiery temper. Susie knew that nothing good would ever come from crossing someone like her. Why would Sheehan's girlfriend be sitting beside you? Eleanor asked. Oh, I'm a fan of Ms. Summers, so I was asking her about her movies. We were just chatting when you came in, Ezra explained with a smile. Then, his expression turned grave. Eleanor, you're not suspecting me of cheating on you, are you? I swear to God I've turned over a new leaf. I'd never do anything to wrong you. I swear. What you do has got nothing to do with me. I'm just here to join in on the fun. Eleanor took a seat on the couch, stony-faced. The others who sat beside her quickly scooted away. Anyone could tell that Ms. Welsh was in a foul mood. Eleanor, Ezra approached her shamelessly and sat beside her. What's wrong? Are you in a bad mood today? Do you need me to go shopping with you? Stay away from me. Eleanor glared at him, scaring Ezra that he dared not sit too close to her. Me. Even if I need someone to accompany me while I shop, it wouldn't be you. Eleanor looked toward Dustin as she spoke, smiling sweetly. Then, she patted the empty seat beside her. Here, Dustin. You may sit here. Dustin had no choice but to do as he was told. To his right was Ezra, and to his left was Eleanor. The three sat in a row, one next to the other. Eleanor, who's this? Ezra eyed Dustin up and down. He had initially thought that Dustin was Eleanor's bodyguard, so he didn't pay attention to him. But now, it seemed to him that something was going on between them. Oh, this is Dustin, my best friend, Eleanor introduced with a smile. Best friend. Ezra's face darkened when he heard that. Best friend. More like friends with benefits. In this day and age, there was no pure friendship between a man and a woman. The most infuriating thing was that Eleanor showed up in front of Ezra and her friend with benefit. That was a blatant provocation. Eleanor, why have I never met this best friend of yours? Ezra took a deep breath to suppress his anger. Do I need your permission to have friends now? Eleanor asked flatly. Besides, you have some girlfriends whom I've never met before, too.